Hey everyone, Brothers XV here, and I'm here to give you a 5-hour game review on Dark and Darker. I went to this game not knowing anything about it, read nothing about the game, literally just saw it on a YouTube short. I was like, oh, this was cool, and then I started playing the game. But I decided to, after about 5 hours, to give you guys a game review and tell you what you should expect in the first 5 hours. Now, Dark and Darker is a hardcore PvPvE dungeon diver extraction looter style game. What that means basically is Escape from Tarkov, except you're playing Dungeons & Dragons style characters. I was pleasantly surprised by the game, but don't go into this not knowing what you're getting yourself into. It's a game that costs $35 for the base edition and $50 for the Premier Edition, right? But please, for the love of your wallets, don't buy the Premier Edition. Just buy the base edition. There's really no added benefits to the Premier other than being able to play as a skeleton, which you can also buy in the shop should you choose to want to do that later on down the road. The general game flow works like this. You spawn into a random location on the map, and over time there's a ring that brings you into a centralized location, very similar to Battle Royale games. The difference is, along the way, you are fighting monsters, and you could occasionally run into another player who's going through the same process as you. You're picking up loot as you're playing, you are killing monsters, and you are trying to make friends or enemies depending on how you want to play. I also want to note that this game doesn't hold your hand with anything. Like, it just throws you right into it. So you see me like swinging with my fists. I had to figure out how to equip my daggers on my own. There's no tutorial, which I actually think it's a plus. Like, I've played so many games at this point in time, I don't need to be told, like, this is how you equip a dagger, this is how you swing it. But it does get a little frustrating when it comes to nuances of the game. For instance, how do I exfil? How do I get out? I was thinking about Escape from Tarkov. I was looking for locations and where I can exit from, but it works a little bit differently from this game. There are specific locations you can exit from after X amount of time, but what you're actually trying to look for is these blue stones, which are portals. And you activate it, it opens a portal, then you or someone else can run through the portal. After playing this game for 5 hours, I exfilled, I think, a collective total of like 6, maybe 7 times, and I died probably 100 times, and that's not even an exaggeration. You're gonna die a lot in this game. Get used to it. I will say, after playing the game for just 5 hours, I've encountered almost every single type of monster. All the mechanics are the same, and then later on there might be like a red goblin or a black goblin that it's the same mechanics, they're just stronger. There's also bosses I've encountered, traps I've encountered, mummies, spiders I've encountered. There is a variety. It's just, again, after playing for 5 hours, you're going to see most of it, and then it's just about getting better, learning how to fight it better, and being able to survive the actual match. It is a challenge. It's not easy, but that's kind of the flavor of the game, and if you like something like that, you're probably going to like this game. In between the matches, you're able to take the loot that you found, equip it to your character, put in your stash, or sell it to the vendors that are available from the menu screen. You can also pick up quests from those vendors. If you played Escape from Tarkov, you're going to be very familiar with this style of play. Also, you're able to further customize your character, being able to define the way you really want to play. As a rogue, you can choose things like to be able to stay invisible longer, being able to move a little bit when you're invisible, or being able to do something like backstab better or always have a passive lockpick. It's really your choice on how you want to play. In my 5 hours of playing, I only played at the Goblin Caves. The normal mode, you're only allowed to bring in basic gear, and you're not going to find much good loot once you're there. It's also only meant for solos. The high roller version, also only meant for solos, there's an anti-process to go in, and you can bring whatever gear you want in there. You're also going to find much better gear and stronger monsters in the high roller version of the Goblin Caves. All in all, Dark and Darker is a pretty good game. I have a pretty good impression of it, and it's a game that I'll probably keep playing. Now, is the game worth the $35 price tag? In my opinion, I think it is. I enjoyed a game like this. This game being a hardcore, dungeon diver, class-based, extraction looter game, this is something I enjoyed. But there is a sense of patience you need to bring into playing the game. You need to learn the spawn points. You need to learn the monsters' fighting patterns. You need to learn where the loot is to make better use of your time. There's a lot there is to learn about this game. Lastly, so the game is still in development, so the direction of the game seems to be staying the same, but there's only 2 maps. So if that doesn't seem like it's enough for you, then hold off on buying the game. That's a 5-hour game review, and that's all I got for you today. My name is Brothers XV. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe below. If you want to see more, then you can always watch me stream live. I've got my 5-hour live stream on Dark and Darker upload already. It gets a little janky at the end, so I apologize. Still working on the setup. But again, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys next time.